In today's tutorial, we are going to be looking at how penetration testers, bug bounty hunters enumerate information from websites. Now, whenever you visit a website, for example, or whenever you want to get information from the internet, what you would normally do is you're going to come to Google. If, for example, you wanted to go to Facebook, you are normally going to type facebook.com here, facebook.com here, and then you can now go to facebook.com and you can access every information. Same with Google. Now, let's say, for example, that you wanted to work with Google and you type google.com here. Google here is a domain. It is a website, which we all know. Now, Google on its own has other subdomains. There are domains which we are authorized to use, and there are domains which we are not authorized to have access to. So now, as a bug bounty hunter or as a penetration tester, if you check a system or a domain and discover that there are no vulnerabilities, what are you going to do? The next thing you are going to do is you are going to need to enumerate the subdomains to know if you can find a vulnerability. What I'm about to show you now, even the bad guys or the black hats always use this to hack into systems unethically. So before I begin this tutorial, I want you to understand that this is only for educational purposes only. Now, if for example, now I want to, if I go to maps.google.com here and I hit enter, what I am telling Google is that use your subdomain. So maps.google.com is a subdomain which I am authorized to gain access to because it is publicly available. And now I am telling Google that I want to use it to gain access to a location. What about those subdomains which we are not authorized to get access to? That is where the problem comes. So in this tutorial, we are going to be using a tool known as Sublist3r, which is going to help us to be able to enumerate information from a domain or from a website, or enumerate subdomains from a website. So without wasting much time, let us begin. We are going to type our tool here. The name of our tool is Sublist3r, GitHub. So you see the first link here. We are going to click on the first link, and then what we are going to do is that we are going to come to our system, and you can now see that this is GitHub repository here, and you can see that the code is here, which we just need to copy and go and clone it on our Ubuntu operating system. But before doing this, let us scroll down and see what this tool does. You are seeing that it says that Sublist3r is a Python tool designed to enumerate subdomains like maps.google, which I mentioned at the beginning of this tutorial, of website, and it uses OSINT. OSINT stands for Open Source Intelligence. And OSINT here, there is a framework that helps penetration testers to be able to gain access to systems, which is called OSINT framework. Now, it says that Sublist3r helps penetration testers and bug bounty hunters to collect and gather subdomains for the domain they are targeting. It enumerates subdomains using many search engines such as Google, Yahoo, Bing, Baidu, and any other search engine which you could think of. So, how do we use this tool? If you continue looking under, you're going to see that installation, git clone. You copy this and then you take to your Ubuntu operating system or in your Kali system. In my case, I am using Ubuntu. And then we are being told that it is a Python tool, meaning that we are going to install requirements from Python, and we are going to need to install Python. So what I'm going to do is that I am going to copy this tool here, and I am going to come to my Ubuntu. Sorry, I am going to come to the terminal, and what I'm going to do in the terminal is that I want to come out from this directory and we start from the beginning. Now, take for example that you have not cloned this tool. What you are going to do, you are going to type git clone, and then you paste your tool here. I am going to paste and I hit enter. It says fatal path sublister already exists. This is because I already have this in my operating system. So if, for example, I clear my screen again and I do ls, you can now see that if you look down here, you are going to see that this is Sublist3r here, which is already in my operating system. So I'm going to copy it. Then I am going to clear my screen. And what I am going to do is I am going to say cd, which stands for change directory. and then I am going to paste Sublist3r here. What I have just done here is that I am telling my Ubuntu operating system to leave from here, from this cybersecurity repository or directory, to another directory or to another folder, if you may think of it that way, called Sublist3r. And now in this folder, I want to see everything that is found in this folder called Sublist3r. So what do? I am simply going to type ls like this, and now you can see everything that is found in Sublist3r. Remember I said that here, or think of the folder like a box which you want to retrieve, or you want to get inside of it and retrieve information from it. So this is everything that is found in the Sublist3r directory, and you can see that there is a special file there known as requirements.txt. This file here gives us all the requirements we need to run this tool. So what I'm going to do is I am going to copy this file, and before using this file, I am going to make sure that my Python 3 is installed. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, for me to install Python, you do a sudo apt install Python 3, and then I hit enter. But I think I have this already. So I give it my password, and it says done, Python already installed. So what am I going to do? Let us be sure that Python is there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to type Python 3 dash dash version to see the version of Python which we have. And you can see that it is Python 3.12.3. So now that we have our Python installed, what we need to do now is, since we have that file with all the requirements, we need to install the dependencies that are found in this file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a sudo pip install dash r requirements, or I just copy and paste. I think I had already copied it. I just paste my requirement files, and then I give it dash dash break system dash packages. What I'm telling it here is that upon installation of these requirements here, if there are packages which you need to break so as to give me the results which I need, break them. Do not ask me, or do not come back with a request asking me to break them. So I am just giving it directly to break them. So I hit enter, and then I wait for it. It says that successfully installed and everything is fine. So what we're going to do now is that the next thing we will need to do now is I am going to clear my screen again. I do an ls, and then we need to run our sublister which runs on Python. So I'm going to copy this, and what I'm going to do here is I am going to run Python 3, and then I give it sublister. I paste sublister, and then I give it dash h, which stands for help, because we want to see every other option which we can be able to use so as to be able to enumerate the subdomains that belong to the targeted domain. So now you can now see that dash h stands for help, dash D stands for the domain you want to enumerate, dash B in the case where you want to brute force, which we are not going to be doing here, and then dash P for ports. If you want to scan a particular domain to see if there are open ports, you scan using dash P, and then dash V for verbose. Verbose here stands for, you are going to be telling Python that, or you're going to be telling Sublist3r that when it is scanning a domain like google.com, it should progressively show you whatever it is doing to give you those results. And then you are seeing dash T for threat, and then you see dash O to output the result into a particular file. Let's say we want to save the result in a particular file. We're going to give it a flag dash O for that. So now what I'm going to do is that I am going to come down here, and then I'm going to do Python 3. I give it Sublist3r, which is the tool which we are using here, and then I give it a dash D for domain to enumerate the domains or to get information from the subdomains. And then I specify the domain. In our case, we are going to use google.com. And then I give it a dash V. V stands for verbose, which I am telling Python to progressively show everything it is doing to get me all the subdomains which I asked for, and then I give it a dash or the dash or here. I am telling Sublister that it should output or send the results to a file so that I can access that file maybe offline. Let's call it the file name banner.txt, and then I hit enter and it says it can't open. Let's see where the mistake was done. Let's say Python 3 sublister, is the same spelling, sublister dash google.com v. So what is the problem? It says there's no such directory like this. Let me see. Now let me edit this one here and then I explain. Let's give it a banner.txt. So this is our line of code here. It says Python 3 sublister dot py dash d, where I am precising the domain which I want to enumerate, and then I give it a verbose mode, telling Python or telling Sublister that it should progressively show me a result, and then it should output the result to a certain file known as banner.txt. So if I hit enter, you now see that our Sublister tool has been launched, and you are going to take note that you are seeing search engines like Baidu, Yahoo. So what Sublister is doing, it is going to all these search engines and searching for every subdomain that belongs to Google, and then it's going to bring it to us. And if you take note, you are going to see that there are some information in red here. This is because of the verbose mode, the dash v which we gave it, which it is progressively showing us how it is getting those results and where it went to get the results, which it is going to present to us down as we scroll down. So if we continue scrolling down, we are going to see that these are the results here, and this is the main domain here, which is Google. And now you can see subdomains that belong to Google, even the ones that you have never known. Look at it. These are the subdomains here. Now let's look at, for example, a subdomain like let's see. Let's scroll down. Let's scroll down. Okay, this is interesting. Bug bounty hunters. Bug bounty hunters. So if I copy this and I go to my browser, and I take a new tab and I paste this. Let us see what is found in this website. So this is how penetration testers gather information from subdomains to be able so that they can be able to brute force, or they can be able to gain access into systems ethically, and then they get paid for whatever work they may have done and give the results to their client. So this video is for educational purposes only. Now look at it. This is a website which I never knew that existed, or this is the subdomain that I never knew that existed. So you can now take time and you are looking at every subdomain to see if you're going to find a bug somewhere, and then you can capitalize on it as a bug bounty hunter, and then you report that vulnerability, and then it is closed before the bad guys see them and take advantage of them. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. My name is Banakengyo, and more content like this is coming. Thank you and bye bye.